Are you thinking about starting a new business or forming an LLC or a corporation here in the United States in the near future? Well, if so, you may want to seriously consider forming it before the end of this year. That's right, 2023. Why is that? Well, the Federal Corporate Transparency Act, what we'll call the CTA, is here, and it carries with it significant civil and even criminal penalties for non-compliance. Let's get into the how, what, and why after the intro. Hi, this is Ben with BHANDLAW, and in this video we're going to cover why I think it's important to at least pretty seriously consider forming your business, corporation, or LLC before January 1st of 2024. As always, this video is strictly for entertainment and educational purposes. It does not constitute legal advice. Always consult your own attorney or legal advisor regarding your own particular facts and legal situation. So in order to keep this video brief, I will not be getting heavily into the weeds of the CTA. That will be a topic for a different video, which I will post. Rather, the purpose of this video is simply just to get this information out to you as quickly as possible on this very narrow point. Lastly, I want to say that I don't get anything personally out of doing these videos. While I have been a business and corporate attorney for some 20 years, I stopped doing actual formations a while ago and no longer do them even if asked. Okay, so now that we've got that out of the way, what are we talking about here? Well, the Federal Corporate Transparency Act imposes mandatory reporting obligations on a very broad swath of legal entities. So your corporations, your LLCs, your limited partnerships, limited liability partnerships, etc. Now, generally speaking, these reporting obligations involve or fall into roughly three categories. First of all is the entity or the company itself, or as the Act refers to, a reporting company. Secondly, information about its owners, or as it's termed, the beneficial owner. And lastly, the individual or individuals that actually formed the entity or did the initial reporting under the CTA, which are known as applicants. Now, this reporting will have to be done to the Federal Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, also known as FinCen, and more specifically through an online portal which they are still developing known as BOSS, B-O-S-S, which apparently stands for Beneficial Owner Secure System. It should be noted that as of the date of this video, BOSS is not yet up and running. However, given the deadlines and timeframes that we're about to talk about, I imagine that it will be up live and able to take reporting information by the end of this year, 2023. All right, so now let's take a closer look at what kind of information needs to be reported. First of all, companies, all right? So non-exempt reporting companies will have to report to FinCen the following very baseline information. First of all, the entity's legal name, including any DBAs. Next, the company's business address. Also, the reporting company's tax information number or federal employer identification number, as well as the jurisdiction in which the reporting company was formed or registered. While we're on the topic of applicants, I do want to take a time out here to say that for entities that are already in existence as of December 31st, 2023, aka this year, applicant information will not have to be reported or disclosed through the BOSS system. So now that we understand what an applicant is and what a beneficial owner is under the CTA, what actually needs to be reported? Well, the following information will need to be reported by the reporting company for both beneficial owners as well as their applicants. First of all, full legal name. Secondly, date of birth. Next, the street address, as identified by a current residential or business address. And lastly, applicants as well as beneficial owners will be required to report their non-expired state identification or U.S. passport. So now let's talk a little bit about why you're really here, and that is, what's the risk? What are the penalties of not complying with the CTA? Well, for starters, beneficial owners as well as applicants could be looking at penalties of $500 per day for willful violations or failure to remedy those violations. As if that wasn't bad enough, both beneficial owners as well as applicants could be looking at criminal, not just civil, but criminal fines of up to $10,000 as well as up to 2 years in federal prison. Now, this probably wouldn't apply to beneficial owners and applicants in most cases, but for unauthorized disclosure of reported information, the penalties ramp up severely. In addition to the civil penalties mentioned, the criminal fines go up to a whopping $250,000, as well as up to 5 years imprisonment. Okay, so back to the gist of this video. Why do I say that if you're even remotely considering starting a new business, forming an LLC, corporation, so on and so forth, within your state or wherever you live here in the United States, why should you do so before January 1st of 2024? Well, it's pretty simple. If your entity is formed anytime before January 1, 2024, then you get a full year beyond that to do the reporting in the BOSS system to FinCen. In other words, to put it another way, I have a number of entities that I both formed as well as that I own. They are all in existence and active as of the end of this year, December 31st, 2023. Because of that, I actually will get a full year to get all the stuff that needs to be brought together and file or report through the online portal of FinCen. I get until December 31st of 2024 to complete that reporting. However, and this is the point of the video, that if for whatever reason you can't get it formed within this year, can't get it started within this year, but you end up forming your LLC, your corporation, what have you, after January 1st of 2024, well, in that case, under the CTA, you only have 30 days. You only have basically a month window to do all of the reporting on the reporting company, the beneficial owners, as well as the applicants. And this last point bears repeating, and that is that applicants, these are the people who actually, form the entity, whether it's somebody in your business or whether it's you yourself, if you're, say, a smaller, closely held business, you don't actually have to report applicant information. In other words, your address, social security, passport, all that sort of stuff doesn't have to be uploaded to the FinCen online portal if your entity is already formed before January 1, 2024. Now keep in mind, just to clarify, that even though as an app you don't need to report applicant information for entities that were formed before January 1, 2024, you still will have to do all the other reporting information for the reporting company and any beneficial owners, but you do get that kind of 1 year, let's call it a grace period, that extends all the way to through 2024. So the fact of the matter is, the CTA is here whether you like it or not. I'll be honest with you, most of us do not like it. And certain non-exempt entities will need to comply or be faced with at minimum civil and possibly even criminal penalties for non-compliance. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you found it helpful. Again, I'm Ben with BHANDLAW. I am a business attorney in the Phoenix, Arizona area that focuses in the areas of e-commerce as well as intellectual property matters. If you like this video and found it useful, don't forget to hit like below, as well as even share it. Also, to be notified of the latest contents and video to be uploaded to this channel, don't forget to hit subscribe, as well as hit the little bell notification button so you can be alerted as soon as the latest legal videos drop. Until then, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.